Ice hockey is the most fun sport to watch, just horribly marketed and the barrier to play is high. Various sports do a fantastic job of marketing in different countries. Football soccer is loved around the world mostly for cultural reasons and kids can play easily young even if they're poor. American football is mostly cultural, tailgating and gives most people in the US something to talk about. It also helps that most games are the day before most people start the work week. It's also fairly easy to play when young and poor. Baseball has a higher barrier to entry in comparison to soccer and football, but is still manageable for many. Same with basketball. But for the pure spectating experience, ice hockey can't be beat. But marketing is horrible. The southern US has very few teams, and it takes a lot for kids to play between the equipment, need for frozen lakes or ice rinks which are expensive, and it's super hard to get time for a team to practice at a reasonable time for most people. As a Canadian, I had to remind myself that this sub is not region specific. Hockey being the best sport as an unpopular opinion is a completely foreign concept here, haha. Registration for rep hockey in this area is over $10,000. That's just to sign up, plus all the equipment, sticks that constantly break, tournaments in other cities etc. No shit. Played my whole life and had to always use second-rate gear because good skates are $700 or more. Fuck that. I agree. Snoop Dogg is on the case though. The thing I love about hockey is how there's no out of bounds. It's pretty much non-stop play. Heck, you don't even need to stop the game to change players, they just dive on and off the bench. Basketball has evolved far beyond its court. Players are so big now that the court is just so crowded there's very little space for movement. And again, the constant throwing out of bounds is annoying. This is a great unpopular opinion. Grew up with a hockey-obsessed father, so I thought this opinion was popular for most of my childhood. Super fun to watch though. It doesn't help that hockey is regional, typically more popular where there are harsher winters. But you're totally right, hockey is the shit. It's a faster, more aggressive version of soccer, and you can play behind the net. As someone who gave zero cares about anything to do with hockey and knows nothing about the sport, I went to a game once and that shit was awesome. Dead in right. These are the main reasons it's not as popular. As a Canadian who's loved, watched and played ice hockey my whole life, I concur. However, it wasn't always as exciting. It's because of a number of rule changes over the years that it's as high tempo and hard hitting as it is today. But yes, it is the best sport. It can be hard to follow the small puck in such a fast game unless it's on a really big screen, and even then so much of the game is missed. Hockey is so much different live. Op stole this post off Snoop Dogg's announcement this week. It's so hard to see the puck, that's the problem watching it. Lacrosse should more popular as far as ball sports go. Full contact but not CTE inducing like football. Scores are high enough that it stays interesting, unlike soccer hockey, but not so high as basketball where any individual score isn't that important. Cost is lower than hockey. No boring parts or constant downtime like football, baseball. Tactics are varied as you can go behind the net and shots can be bounced. Too bad the sport is so regional. As far as pure spectacle go, watch an Australian football game. No sport even gets close. Snoop Dogg? Is this you? As a Canadian, how is this opinion unpopular? Everyone I know would agree. I've seen more fistfights in hockey than in any other sport, so I have to agree with you. Face with tears of joy. I would add ice hockey is the most fun to watch in person. Watching on television doesn't do it justice and can sometimes be a bit boring. But being the arena when you can really appreciate the speed and physicality, hell yeah lol. And yeah, hockey needs to stop with these robot personalities. Crosby, McDavid, Connor Bedard, and allow for more personality and flair. The NBA and NFL are really popular because there's reality TV level drama with players literally dating Kardashians LOL. Hockey is kind of a clusterfuck. Sometimes it's just this clutter of people in front of the goal. And it's so very frustrating to focus on. The only time I ever appreciate hockey is when it's late in the playoffs. It's great live. Possibly the best sport to go see in person. It's so fast and constant action. Nothing about this opinion is unpopular. That's all true. True that. I've been saying this for years. Never played it, not even somewhere that plays it, and I will never have an opportunity to play it. Ice hockey is by far the most fun team contact sport to watch. It's the best of football and the best of rugby mashed together and turned up to 110. Fast, tactical, brutal. I've been raised on watching rugby, and football and ice hockey is more enjoyable to watch than both by a large metric. Totally agree though, terrible marketing, an insane cost and skill barrier to entry to play. I love how fast-paced it is, minimal stopping compared to basketball and football. The sport just isn't readily accessible. Maintaining a skating rink in a climate-controlled building is expensive. Ice skating also isn't intuitive for most people, so you have to get comfortable skating before you can even play. I love watching the sport, but those basic facts hold it back. The NHL upper management also has done a terrible job managing marketing the sport over the years. It is a blast to watch though, can't deny that. It's great live. We go to the minor league games. Get seats right on the glass every time. You clearly have never been to Canada. Hockey is insanely fun. Problem is, once I finally saw a game in person, a club team mind you, I found that even watching the NHL on TV to be very lackluster in comparison. It's sad that much of what makes hockey fun just gets lost on TV. Hockey is also easy on the ears. The sounds of the skates on the ice, the sticks clashing, bodies being slammed into the glass. It's awesome. Basketball on the other hand is just non-stop sneaker squeaking. Fun to watch, but I'd rather mute that shit. In my opinion, it's fun to watch in person, but on TV I'm not a fan. I live in northern Canada, and I wanted to play hockey growing up as it was very popular in my area and surrounding towns, and my mom was enthusiastic about it, but we were poor so it never happened. But I found basketball, and I became pretty beastly at that. I would like to add something similar about racket sports. Tennis is more popular but very slow and boring to watch when compared to professional badminton. Those rallies get insane. Will be buried, but Canadian football is also very fun to watch. Way faster than the NFL. Canadian original sports in general are some of my favorite to watch. Hockey's crazy, smooth, and fast. Canadian football's emphasis on offense and speed makes it more consistent than American, and I always love some field or box lacrosse. Nothing beats a good round of the medicine game. Terrible marketing, yes. Barrier is a real bitch. Think of how easy it is to kick a soccer ball, throw a baseball, a football, even swim. Find an ice rink. Good luck. If you do, shit ain't cheap. I'm Canadian and I genuinely hope my kids won't want to play hockey just because of how insanely expensive it is, especially when you factor in the camps. But I'll support the kid if they want to. Me, who lives in a country without a single permanent ice rink, smiling face with open mouth and cold sweat.